I'm starting out at Islip Saddle off of the Crest Highway, CA2. This is right along the Pacific Crest Trail. That's heading north. For me, I'm going to head south and catch the Pacific Crest Trail right up there. The Pacific Crest Trail has gotten right across the street from the parking lot, kind of easy to miss. That was a scenic hike right from the start. Got a lot of burned pine trees throughout here. I'm at the Little Jimmy campground. I had read that there was only room for like 7 people here, but it looks like it would be bigger than that. Then we have the containers here. I think this is for food, so bears don't get into it. So next, I'm gonna follow this trail up to Mount Islip. I've got to make a left here to get up to Throop Peak. I'm intersecting a trail here, going up, goes to Throop Peak, and when I come back, I'll go down this other trail, and that'll go to a place called Windy Gap. Now I'm closing into Throop Peak. I'm on the top of Throop Peak, and it's quite a nice view. CA2 runs down along that way. And then my path after here is through this way, is that direction. I believe Baden-Powell is in the distance there. The next stop is Windy Gap. I'm at this junction again. Going straight leads directly to Little Jimmy campground. I'm going to go to Windy Gap, so I'm going to make a right here and follow this other path. Well, I've reached Windy Gap. When I get back to this point later in the day, I'll take this other trail to get me back to Islip Saddle day use area. Okay, Hawkins Ridge Trail. I don't think that's Mount Hawkins, but maybe Mount Hawkins is on the other side. So that's my next destination, it's Mount Hawkins. This is looking back at Islip Peak. Here's the Hawkins Ridge Trail. But I see in my Garmin device, Mount Hawkins is actually up over here about less than half a mile away down the PCT. I dare say that looks like Mount Hawkins. Well, there's an unmarked trail here. It's only marked by this cairn. So I take this to get to Mount Hawkins. Then on the way back, I'll continue along this way. I'm on top of Mount Hawkins. I believe this peak here is Throop Peak, and then Burnham Peak, and then Baden-Powell. I looked on my Garmin device for this peak, but it doesn't show. It shows something there, but I don't see any name. It's a beautiful view. This is the way I came up from this direction. CA2, Angeles Crest Highway. Islip Saddle is this way where I came from. Vincent Gap trailhead is further that way. All right, so our next stop is Throop. Coming down the PCT here, the way up to Throop Peak on the south side of the peak is up this way. And I don't even know if it'll come out on the video, but there's a very, very faint, very subtle trail going up this way. It's not marked, but this is the way to Throop Peak from the south. Once you're on top of Throop Peak, you can continue going north and go down the other side. So yeah, I actually walked past this and had to walk back and find it. So I'm gonna go up this way. Just came up this way. Had kind of a scenic area here. I continue up this way. I'm on Throop Peak. Came up this way from Mount Hawkins. This way is Mount Burnham, my next destination, and then Mount Baden-Powell, my endpoint, and then I'll make my way back. Again, an outstanding view. This is one of my favorite hikes in terms of the view you have on the hike. Well, this is interesting. I'm at a three-way junction. I just came down this way from Throop Peak. I'm going to continue this way to Mount Baden-Powell. But there's a third leg here. The sign says Dawson Saddle. And a hiker at the parking area asked me if I knew a Dawson Saddle, which I didn't, but it was actually nearby. Here's another junction with an unmarked trail. So the trail that goes right goes up to Burnham, Mount Burnham, and then the trail on the left bypasses the mountain and goes to Mount Baden-Powell. So I'm going to go up to Mount Burnham, and then on the way back, I'll be coming down this other path and continue back this way. I'm at the top of Mount Burnham. One last peak to go. That's Mount Baden-Powell. That's the highest peak there. It was kind of tough getting up here. Not as good of a view from here because a lot of vegetation and trees hiding things, or hiding the view. I came up from this direction, and like Throop Peak, the trail goes to the other side, and I can just continue down this way and make my way up. Looks like there's a peak register down here. I didn't notice if any of the other peaks had peak registers. Maybe they did. I didn't look for it. Didn't notice. All right, I'm getting back on the PCT from Mount Burnham. It's funny. Going to Mount Burnham from here is just a very short hike. So the trail must either be steep going this way or probably to Switchbacks. Okay, I'll find that out here in a little bit. So on to Mount Baden-Powell. Here's a closer view of Mount Baden-Powell. I'm really hoping that's the top. It is the top. I think most people come from Vincent Gap. Okay, I'm on the top of Mount Baden-Powell. Now it's possible to keep going down around this way to get down around there. That'll add another 1,100 feet gain and loss to whatever you're doing otherwise. I thought about doing that, but I've accomplished what I wanted to, and I'm not going to do that. I don't have the energy. All right, this would be Mount Burnham. That's probably Throop Peak, maybe Hawkins Peak. And Mount Islip is further down that way. Okay, I'm gonna head back. I've got about a 9-mile hike back to my car. I suppose one could go back to those peaks, but I'm gonna bypass the peaks and just stay on the PCT. Here's a trail that goes up to Mount Burnham. I'm not going to go back up there. I'm just going to go to the right, stay on the PCT, and go around Mount Burnham. Approaching Throop Peak, this time from the north. Obviously, there was a fire on the other side of the Crest Highway over there. I'm going along the side of Throop Peak now. Well, approaching Mount Hawkins this way. Approaching Mount Islip and Windy Gap. Yeah, looking at the fire devastation again, I can see it all through the mountains over here. And then it looks like it came up through here. I mean, these trees are all burned. I don't know if it went beyond here. Maybe not. Hope not. Well, it seems like a long hike to get from Mount Hawkins back to Windy Gap. Oh boy, I'll be happy to get back to the car. This is the way I came down from Mount Islip. I'm going to go back this way to Islip Saddle. It's about 2.4 miles. That's a beautiful sight. That's the Islip Saddle day use area.